I'm still fuming as I type this at 2 a.m., so bear with me. AITA for storming out of my monthly board game night, mid-turn, no less, because my buddy Dave wouldn't stop cheating at terraforming Mars and then had the gall to call me a winner when I called him out? I swear, this wasn't just about a game. It's about principle. Or maybe I'm just a sore loser with no chill. You decide. Let me set the scene. I'm a 29-year-old graphic designer, and my happy place is this weird little board game cafe called Dice and Brew tucked in the basement of an old strip mall. It's got flickering Edison bulbs, mismatched chairs, and a faint smell of burnt espresso that clings to everything. The owner, Marla, is this chain-smoking ex-punk who keeps a pet iguana named Sid Vicious behind the counter. Sid mostly just stares at us while we play, like he's judging our life choices. Anyway, I've been hosting game night here every third Friday for 2 years, me, Dave, Priya, and Jake. We're a tight crew, bonded over late-night Caton trades and too many IPAs. Dave's the loud one, a gymbro type who sells protein powder on Instagram and always wears tank tops, even in winter. Priya's the planner, a med student who brings color-coded snacks and a rulebook for every game. Jake's quieter, a stoner coder who once fell asleep mid-turn during Risk and woke up claiming he'd strategically napped. We rotate who picks the game, and this time it was my turn. I chose terraforming Mars because it's my favorite, strategic, nerdy, and long enough to feel epic. You're basically colonizing Mars, building oxygen levels, and terraforming the planet with cards and resources. I've been hyping it all week in our group chat, even sending memes like, when you finally get revenge via greenhouse gases. Everyone was in except Dave, who groaned about it being too thinky but showed up anyway with a 6-pack of Monster Energy and a smirk. The night started fine. Priya had her highlighters out, marking her player board like it was a final exam. Jake was humming some lo-fi beat, half-baked as usual, terraforming Venus by accident. I was in my zone, sipping a flat latte and plotting to monopolize the titanium market. Dave, though? He was restless from the jump, fidgeting, scrolling TikTok, and chugging his third monster by 9 p.m. Then it happened. About an hour in, I noticed he'd accidentally slid 2 extra resource cubes onto his board during a trade phase. I let it slide, mistakes happen, right? But then, during the next round, he played a card that costs 20 megacredits when he only had 15 on the table. I squinted at his board, did the math, and said, "Yo, Dave, how'd you afford that?" He grinned, all teeth, and waved me off. "Relax, bro, it's just a game." I miscounted. Miscounted my ass. I've seen him flex his mental math gains in the chat too many times to buy that. Priya raised an eyebrow but kept quiet, nibbling her carrot sticks. Jake just shrugged, too blissed out to care. I grumbled but let it go, figuring it wasn't worth derailing the vibe. Big mistake. By the third round, he was blatantly cheating, swapping cards under the table, forgetting to pay for actions, even nudging my heat cubes closer to his pile when I wasn't looking. I caught him red-handed that time, his meaty paw hovering over my stash. "Dude, seriously?" I snapped, louder than I meant to. Sid Vicious flicked his tongue from across the room like he was taking notes. Dave leaned back, smirking. "What's your deal, man? It's not the World Series." "Chill." That lit me up. I'd spent $80 on this game, hauled it here in a backpack, and prepped all week just for him to treat it like Monopoly at a frat party. "It's not about the game," I said, voice tight. "It's about not being a dick." Priya winced, whispering, "Guys, come on," while Jake mumbled something about negative vibes. Dave doubled down, crossing his arms. "Oh, so I'm a dick because I'm winning? Stop whining, you're ruining it for everyone." That was it. I stood up, chair scraping the concrete floor, and started packing my game. "I'm not playing with a cheater who can't own it," I said. Dave laughed, actually laughed, and called after me, "Fine, run away, winner," as I shoved my board into its box. Priya tried to mediate, saying we could restart, but I was done. I grabbed my jacket, left the half-finished game sprawled across the table, and stormed out into the chilly parking lot. Marla yelled, "Don't break my chairs next time," as the door slammed. The fallout's been messy. Priya texted me later, saying I overreacted and should have just talked it out. Dave's always been like that, apparently. Jake posted a stoned Snapchat of the abandoned game with the caption, "RIP Mars LOL," which got a laugh emoji from Dave. But then Dave DM'd me this passive-aggressive essay about how I suck the fun out of everything and need to grow a pair. He's been spamming the group chat with gym selfies since, acting like nothing happened while I'm still too pissed to reply. Priya says I should apologize to keep the peace, but I'm not the one who turned game night into a power trip. Even Marla texted me, she's in the chat too, somehow saying, "Kid, you're both idiots, but he's the bigger one." Sid agrees. I keep replaying it though. Was I too harsh? I could have stayed, called him out quieter, or just let him cheat and laughed it off. Now I'm the drama guy who bailed and I feel like an ass for letting it get to me. But cheating's not nothing, it's disrespectful, right? Or am I just clutching my board game pearls too tight? So, Reddit, AITA for ditching mid-game over Dave's cheating, or should I have sucked it up and stayed? Okay, I need to vent about this because I'm still kinda shaky from the whole thing. ITA for flat out refusing to play Overwatch with my little sister anymore because she turns into a banshee every time she loses. And now she's mad at me for abandoning her? I swear, this isn't just about a game, it's about my sanity. But maybe I'm being a jerk. You tell me. I'm 24, a barista by day and a semi-decent gamer by night, living in this cramped apartment above a vape shop that always smells like cotton candy and regret. My setup's nothing fancy, just a second-hand monitor, a creaky desk chair, and a keyboard with a sticky spacebar I keep meaning to fix. My sister, Ellie, is 17, still in high school, and she crashes here most weekends because our parents' place is a Wi-Fi dead zone. She's this wiry, freckled tornado of a kid, always wearing mismatched socks and chugging Mountain Dew like it's water. She's obsessed with Overwatch, this fast-paced shooter where you pick heroes and brawl in teams. I got her into it last year, and at first it was our thing. Late-night matches, trash-talking each other over Discord, laughing when we'd accidentally yeet ourselves off cliffs as Wrecking Ball. Our crew's small but solid. There's me, usually maining Mercy because I'm a sucker for healing, and Ellie, who locks Farah every match and spams rockets like she's auditioning for a Michael Bay movie. Then we've got our online pals. Carlos, a chill dude from Texas who plays Reinhardt and calls everyone compadre. And Tara, this snarky Brit who mains Widowmaker and once typed GGEZ after accidentally killing herself with her own venom mine. We're not pros, our rank hovers around low gold, but we have fun. Or we did, until Ellie's losing streak turned her into a one-woman sound effects library. Started a few months back. She'd always been competitive, but lately, every loss sets her off. Like, full-on screaming, high-pitched, glass-shattering wails that make my upstairs neighbor bang on the floor with a broom. If we get rolled in a match, she'll yell, "This team sucks," or, "Why am I the only one doing anything?" Even when she's 2-10 and I'm pocketing her with heals. Last week, she lost a 1v1 to an enemy McCree, and she shrieked so loud my headset popped off. Carlos muted his mic. Tara typed WTF is that? And I just sat there, ears ringing, while Ellie chucked her controller at the couch. It's not even funny anymore, it's exhausting. I've asked her to chill like, "Ellie, it's just QP, relax." But she snaps back, "Don't tell me how to feel," and pouts for hours. So last night I hit my limit. She'd been begging me to duo queue all day, texting me rocket emojis and, "Please, please, please," while I was steaming oat milk for some hipster's latte. I got home, booted up the PC, and we jumped into a match. First round, we're holding fine. Ellie's raining justice from above. I'm keeping her alive. Carlos is swinging his hammer like a madman. Then the enemy swaps to a hitscan comp, picks Ellie off 3 times in a row, and we lose the point. Cue the meltdown. She screams, "This is bullshit. Why didn't you heal me?" Farah's just squishy, dude. Then she slams her fist on my desk, knocking over my half-empty Red Bull, which spills into my keyboard. Sticky spacebar? Now it's a sticky everything. I lost it. "Ellie, I'm done," I said, voice shaking. "I'm not playing with you if you're gonna scream like that." She froze, eyes wide, then muttered, "Fine, be a dick about it," and stormed off to the couch, pulling her hoodie over her head like a sulky turtle. Now it's a mess. She's barely talked to me since. Just grunts and glares over her cereal this morning. She texted Tara behind my back, who messaged me saying, "Mate, she's gutted. Give her a break." Carlos chimed in with, "Compadre, she's young. She'll grow out of it." But I'm still pissed. My keyboard's trashed. My ears are still buzzing. And I dread every match now because I know it's coming. Mom called me today, too, saying Ellie told her I banned her from gaming with me. And now I'm the bad guy who's pushing her away. She's moping around like I kicked her puppy. And I feel like crap. But also, I can't keep doing this. I just want to play in peace without a screamo remix every loss. I keep second-guessing myself, though. She's my sister, and gaming was our bond. Maybe I should have toughed it out or set firmer rules instead of bailing. I could have muted her in Discord or something. But it's not just the noise. It's how she flips out and blames me, like I'm her personal punching bag. I don't know. Maybe I'm overreacting, or maybe I'm just done being her babysitter. So, Reddit, AITA for refusing to game with Ellie over her screaming fits? Or should I suck it up and keep the peace? I'm still buzzing from this whole mess, so I'm just gonna spill it all here at 3 a.m. AITA for selling concert tickets I'd promised to my coworker because some random dude offered me double the price and now she's acting like I stabbed her in the back? I know it sounds shady, but hear me out, I needed the cash and it's not like we're besties. Or maybe I'm just a greedy jerk. You be the judge. I'm 27, a line cook at this greasy diner called Patty's Pit Stop, a 24-hour joint off the highway where the coffee's burnt and the jukebox only plays Springsteen on loop. It's not glamorous, my apron's stained with fryer oil and I smell like onions half the time, but it pays the rent on my shoebox apartment. The diner's got this retro vibe, all chipped Formica counters and neon signs that flicker like they're about to die. My coworkers are a mixed bag. There's Tony, the grizzled night manager who chain smokes out back and calls everyone chief, and then there's Lena, the coworker in question. She's 32, a waitress with a pixie cut dyed electric blue, always chewing gum and doodling band logos on napkins during slow shifts. She's obsessed with this indie rock band, the Static Hearts, who blow up on TikTok every other month with their angsty vibes and lo-fi guitar riffs. A few weeks ago, I scored 2 tickets to their sold-out show at the Rusty Anchor, this dive bar venue in the next town over. I'm not even a huge fan. My buddy Jax, a bartender there, hooked me up for $50 each because someone canceled last minute. I figured I'd flip them online for a quick profit since my car's been making this weird clunking noise and I'm one paycheck away from a mechanic's bill I can't afford. During a shift, I mentioned it offhand while scraping griddle gunk, something like, got these Static Hearts tickets, gonna sell M on StubHub. Lena's head snapped up from her napkin doodle of a heart with static lines. Wait, you're selling those? I'd kill to go. Promise me you'll sell them to me, okay? She had this desperate gleam in her eye like a kid begging for the last slice of pizza. I shrugged and said, sure, they're yours, thinking she'd Venmo me the $100 later. We didn't handshake on it or anything, I mean, it's diner banter, not a blood oath. Fast forward to last night. I'm home, scrolling X, when some guy DMs me out of nowhere, heard you got Static Hearts ticks. I'll pay $200 for the pair. My jaw dropped. That's double what I paid, enough to fix my car and grab a 6-pack after. I hesitated for, 2 seconds, picturing Lena's pouty face, but then I thought, she hasn't paid me yet and we never set a price. So I replied, deal, met the dude in a Walmart parking lot an hour later, and pocketed the cash. Felt like a hustle king until my shift today. Lena clocked in, all chipper, snapping her gum and waving her phone. Got the $100 ready on Venmo, when do I get the tickets? My stomach sank. I fumbled, wiping my hands on my apron, and mumbled, actually, I sold them last night. Guy offered me $200. Her face froze, then twisted like I just spat in her coffee. Are you serious? You promised me, she hissed, loud enough that Tony peeked out from the kitchen, lighter still in hand. It wasn't a promise, I shot back, just a maybe. You didn't pay me or anything. She scoffed, popping her gum so hard I thought it'd hit the ceiling. That's bullshit and you know it. I've been talking about this show for weeks, you knew how much it meant. She stormed off to bus tables, slamming plates louder than necessary. The rest of the shift was arctic. Lena wouldn't look at me, just muttered orders through gritted teeth, 2 eggs, over easy, don't screw it up, while Tony kept smirking like he was watching a soap opera. By closing, she cornered me near the walk-in cooler. You're a selfish prick, she said, voice low and shaky. I'd have paid you more if you'd asked. Enjoy your stupid money. Then she clocked out, leaving me with a stack of dirty skillets and a pit in my gut. Tony clapped my shoulder and said, Chief, you played dirty. Hope it was worth it. Now it's awkward as hell. Lena's telling everyone, cooks, waitresses, even the delivery guy, that I'm a backstabber. Jax texted me, heard you scalped those ticks, Lena's pissed, dude. I saw her post a cryptic Instagram story later, a Static Hearts song clip with can't trust anyone typed over it. I feel like a dick, but also $200 is $200. My car's still clunking and I've got bills stacking up. She could have said she'd match it, right? Or paid me sooner. I didn't owe her those tickets, it's not like we're family. Still, I keep replaying her face, that crushed look, and wondering if I should have just eaten the loss. So, Reddit, AITA for selling those tickets out from under Lena for a better deal, or was it fair game since she didn't lock it down? I'm still wired from this, so I'm just gonna dump it all here while I'm pacing my kitchen at midnight. AITA for telling my friend his jokes at a party sucked. Straight to his face, and now he's saying I tanked the whole night? I didn't mean to be a buzzkill, but I was so done with his cringe fest. Maybe I'm the asshole here. I don't know. You figure it out. I'm 31. A freelance sound engineer who spends most days tweaking audio for podcasts in my basement setup, surrounded by foam panels and tangled cables. My social life's pretty niche, mostly audio nerds and old college buddies who still think bitrate is a valid toast. The party was at my place. This drafty Victorian rental with creaky floors and a backyard fire pit that's more rust than metal. I'd invited a dozen people for a chill bonfire night. BYOB, Esmores, the works. The vibe was low-key. Fairy lights strung up, a Spotify playlist of lo-fi beats humming through my portable speaker, and a cooler of IPAs sweating in the grass. My crew's eclectic. There's Sam, a tattooed yoga instructor who brought her own kombucha, and Priya, my old roommate who now runs a vegan bakery and always smells like cinnamon. Then there's Greg, the guy I'm venting about. He's 33, a wannabe stand-up comic who works IT by day and spends nights bombing open mics. He's tall, lanky, with a patchy beard and a laugh like a foghorn, impossible to miss. Greg's been my friend since sophomore year, when we bonded over pirating Radiohead albums. He's always been the funny guy, but lately his humor's gone from quirky to desperate. Think dad joke energy meets TikTok cringe, delivered with this manic grin that begs you to laugh. Last night, he showed up in a Hawaiian shirt unbuttoned to his navel, clutching a solo cup of cheap whiskey, already loud before the fire was lit. At first, it was fine, people were mingling, Sam was teaching Priya some yoga pose by the pit, and I was futzing with the speaker because the bass kept cutting out. Greg started riffing, tossing out lines like, "Why don't skeletons fight? They don't have the guts." People chuckled politely, but you could tell it was more, "Oh, Greg," than actual laughs. Then he wouldn't stop. For an hour, he followed people around, sloshing whiskey and yelling punchlines over the music. He cornered Sam with, "What's a vegan's favorite horror movie? The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Because it's all meat." She fake laughed, but her eyes screamed, "Save me." He hit Priya with, "Why don't bakers date? They need too much attention." She just nodded, clutching her IPA like a lifeline. I tried to steer him off, tossed him a marshmallow and said, "Roast this instead, man." But he took it as a cue to get louder. By 10 p.m., he was slurring through a bit about Wi-Fi and chill that made zero sense, and the vibe was dying. People were side-eyeing me like, "Control your boy." I felt my jaw clench every time his foghorn laugh cut through the crackling fire. Finally, I snapped. He just yelled, "What's a sound engineer's favorite pickup line? Can I adjust your levels?" And pointed at me like I'd co-sign it. I'd had 3 beers and 0 patience left. "Greg," I said, loud enough that the chatter stopped. "Your jokes aren't funny. They're killing the party. Chill." The backyard went silent, save for the fire popping. His grin faltered, then hardened. "Wow, dude, way to ruin the fun." He shot back, voice sharp. "Not everyone's a humor snob like you." Sam winced. Priya muttered, "Yikes." And a couple others shuffled awkwardly toward the cooler. Greg grabbed his cup, stormed inside, and slammed my screen door so hard I thought it'd splinter. The rest of the night was a train wreck. Greg sulked in my kitchen, scrolling his phone and muttering loud enough for everyone to hear, "Guess I'm not welcome here." People trickled out early. Sam hugged me and whispered, "He'll get over it." But Priya texted later, "That was harsh, dude. He's embarrassed." By midnight, it was just me and the fire's embers. Greg's half-empty whiskey bottle abandoned on my porch. He peeled out in his beat-up Corolla without a goodbye, and this morning he posted a passive-aggressive ex-rant. "Some friends can't handle a little joy. #partypooper." My phone's been buzzing with mutuals asking what happened, and Priya says I should apologize to keep the peace. Even my neighbor, Mrs. Klein, banged on the wall earlier, yelling, "Keep it down next time." Probably Greg's fault anyway. I feel like garbage now. I didn't mean to humiliate him, but those jokes were a train wreck, and I was hosting. Shouldn't I set the tone? He's texted me once since. "Didn't know you were the comedy police." I haven't replied. I'm still mad, but also wondering if I could have pulled him aside instead of calling him out like that. Maybe I'm too uptight and he was just trying to vibe. Or maybe he's a grown-ass man who needs to read the room. So, Reddit, AITA for telling Greg his jokes sucked and tanking the party, or was I right to shut it down? Alright, I'm still stewing over this, so I'm just gonna lay it all out here while I'm sprawled on my couch at 1 a.m. picking a cold pizza. AITA for bailing on a trivia game at my family's Easter brunch because the questions were mind-numbingly dull and now my cousin's calling me an arrogant prick. I didn't think it was a big deal, but apparently I'm the family villain now. Help me sort this out. I'm 26, a data analyst who spends most days crunching numbers in a home office that's basically a glorified closet. Think flickering desk lamp, a dying aloe plant, and a chair that squeaks like it's auditioning for a horror movie. My family's big and loud, the kind that turns every holiday into a three-ring circus. This time, it was Easter at my Aunt Carla's place, a sprawling ranch house an hour outside the city with peeling yellow paint and a backyard overrun by her 6 rescue chickens. She's the matriarch, 50s, wiry with a voice that could wake a coma patient, always bustling around in an apron covered in flour and cat hair. My cousin Mike was there too, 29, a gym teacher with a buzz cut and a laugh that sounds like a donkey brain. He's the golden boy, always organizing fun stuff to keep us bonded. Then there's my little sister, Jess, 19, a college freshman who's glued to her phone, live texting everything to her Snapchat posse. The brunch was chaos as usual, tables groaning with ham, deviled eggs, and Carla's lumpy mashed potatoes, kids running around with chocolate-smeared faces, and the chickens clucking like they owned the place. I was content just vibing, sipping a lukewarm mimosa and dodging small talk with Uncle Ray about his lawnmower collection. Then Mike clapped his hands like a camp counselor and announced, "Trivia time." He'd printed out these question sheets, creased, smudged, clearly yanked from some bargain bin website. Everyone groaned but shuffled into teams anyway. I got stuck with Jess, Ray, and Carla, who immediately started arguing over our team name, the Excellent 4-1, ugh. The question started and I swear my soul left my body. What's the capital of Florida? How many legs does a spider have? What color is a stop sign? I'm sitting there, fork halfway to my mouth, thinking, is this for toddlers? Mike's reading them off with a smug grin like he's hosting Jeopardy while Jess is Snapchatting the whole thing with captions like, "Trivia slay." I tried to play along, muttered Tallahassee under my breath, got a nod from Ray, but by the 5th question, "What's the smell of rain like?" I was done. I leaned back in my folding chair, crossed my arms and said, "I'm out. This is boring as hell." Carla gasped like I'd cursed in church, Jess smirked, and Mike's face went red. "Come on, don't be a snob," he snapped. "It's for fun." I shrugged. "Not my kind of fun," I said, and grabbed my mimosa to scroll X by the chicken coop instead. That's when it blew up. Mike followed me outside, towering over me with his clipboard like some trivia Gestapo. "What's your problem, man? You think you're too good for this?" he barked, loud enough that the chickens scattered. "No," I said, not looking up from my phone, "just not into baby questions." He scoffed. "You're so arrogant, ruining it for everyone." I rolled my eyes. "It's trivia, not a UN summit. Relax." He stormed back inside, and I stayed out there, sipping and watching a hen peck at my shoelace, figuring it'd blow over. Nope. Inside, I heard him ranting to Carla, "He's always like this, acting superior." While Jess texted me, "You made it weird, lol." The rest of the day was a frost fest. Carla kept shooting me these wounded looks, like I'd personally insulted her chickens. Mike wouldn't talk to me, just slammed plates around during cleanup, muttering about team spirit. Jess posted a blurry pic of me by the coop with trivia dropout in neon text, and my phone lit up with family chat pings, cousins saying I sucked the joy out, and Aunt Linda calling me too cool for school. Even Ray cornered me later, mumbling, "Could've just played along, kid." By the time I drove home, I was the Easter Grinch, and Mike had texted me a novel, "You embarrassed me in front of everyone. Thanks for being a dick." I didn't reply, too annoyed, but now I'm wondering if I overdid it. I get it, family stuff's about bonding, not winning Nobel Prizes. Maybe I could have faked it for an hour, nodded it, "Rain smells wet," whatever. But I wasn't trying to flex, I was just bored out of my skull, and I didn't think it'd turn into World War III. Now I'm the arrogant one and I feel like a jerk, but also, was it really that deep? So Reddit, AITA for ditching the trivia game because it was lame, or should I have sucked it up and played nice?